Hey everybody, welcome back to Pop Culture Philosophers. You know, we've been talking about animation this entire time. Talked about a lot about classic animation, you know, and the stuff in the 80s that we loved, and the stuff before the 80s that we loved. So let's talk a little bit about what we like to call here the Nickelodeon era. So, in the 90s, you had the rise of Nickelodeon, you had the rise of Fox Kids, okay? A lot of very important shows come from this era. Tony, tell me a little bit about this era in general and your favorite shows.
Fox's Peter Pan and the Pirates.
Yes.
Okay.
I agree.
That was really good.
Yeah. Tim Curry is Captain Hook. Yeah.
Smee. Yeah.
That was
Fox's
awesome.
Peter Pan and the Pirates was really good.
All right.
What else? There was a French animated series that came on Saturday mornings. Fox did. It was called Cyber 6, where the lady infiltrated the area, disguised as a man by day, and work on the police force, and at night she would go out and fight crime as a female vigilante. That was really good. I think it was like 23 episodes. But yeah, it's called Cyber 6. Short-lived on Fox.
All right. You know, it was a big deal when Fox showed up because I remember being a kid in the early 90s and getting for free the Fox Kids subscription in the mail. You would get that like paper,
that magazine.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the magazine. Some good ones. Bobby's World comes from that. You know, we're talking a lot about 90s cartoons in general, and Nickelodeon dominates a lot with shit like Rugrats and Doug and Rocco's Modern Life and All Real Monsters.
Yeah, that was pretty
all
cool.
that kind of stuff, right? So it is the Nickelodeon era, but it's also the Fox era.
Mm-hmm.
They had Bobby's World, Eek the Cat.
The cat.
Eek.
Yeah.
They had X-Men. And eventually Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
Spider-Man.
They really, and with the Marvel Action Hour later on, had Fantastic Four,
Iron Man.
Some really, really good stuff. Don't forget Fox's Disney and Warner Brothers. We were talking about classic cartoons and cartoons in general are dominated by Disney and Warner Brothers. Fox jump-started its foray into animation with Warner Brothers and Disney properties with DuckTales, Tailspin, Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers, and Animaniacs, and Tiny Toons.
Yes, they did.
So Fox is very genius in the 90s as far as animation goes. Jelani, what can you tell me?
About 90s?
Yeah, 90s animation.
90s animation.
What's your favorite, and why does it separate itself from other eras?
Well, I have a few 90s things. I don't know if these involve Cartoon Network, but I liked a lot of Cartoon Network at that time. I know I did. Dexter's Lab is one of my favorites.
Oh yeah,
From
Cartoon
the 90s.
Network, a big deal in the 90s with their original programming.
They had original programming.
It was awesome.
I mean, it was Tartakovsky. It was this kid, and he was a genius, and his parents never had an idea that he had made his own laboratory that's under their house. And there's a Dee Dee sister, and she's just this cheerleader, happy girl, and she's always ruining his things. And I loved that show, and it was the 90s, and I really enjoyed that really a lot. That was one of my favorite shows.
You know, me personally, I love, speaking of Dexter's Laboratory and what's his name? Not Tchaikovsky, but like Tartakovsky. What's his name?
Glenn Tartakovsky.
Something like that, right?
No, we're butchering your name, sir.
Samurai Jack and Powerpuff Girls.
Gandhi.
Right?
Krofkowski.
Oh, Darkwing Duck, Animaniacs, Chip and Dale, Rescue Rangers,
They're awesome.
DuckTales, Rugrats.
We grew up with those.
Tailspin.
We did
Tailspin's
talk about
good too.
Tailspin.
But my favorite animated series in the 90s, all Fox. X-Men, the animated series, and The Tick. Absolutely love those series. John, what do you think? 90s, Fox, Nickelodeon, whatever, your favorite of the era.
I'd probably say Tailspin and DuckTales. Maybe I'd say Darkwing and Tailspin are probably my favorite. Not counting comic book related shows, because obviously I was an X-Men fan. On the Spider-Man show eventually. But the Fox, it was different with Fox because Fox did those cartoons when he got home from school.
Yeah.
So Nickelodeon had some stuff on here and there. They had some live action stuff. They had a mix of stuff and some reruns. Versus Fox, I mean, they were the ones that, like, okay, forget
These
the
kids are
Saturday
gonna
morning
go.
shit.
We're gonna watch
Let's
the show.
as soon as school gets out, let's be that TV spot for them. And you're right, Fox dominated for a while there.
You know what happened? You know what the pivoting point was for Fox. Saban's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Oh yeah,
It changed the game
It
dramatically.
did. I'm sure
So
it did.
it was
It
the
was
only
in that
show that would come on at 5:00 in the morning, and you would get up at
get up,
4:30,
watch
brush your
Yeah.
teeth, take your shower,
Right.
be ready for school,
Yes,
and not
right.
miss not one
He is
episode
right.
of
He
Power
is right.
Rangers.
Shit.
You get on that bus, and you
Oh
couldn't
my
wait to talk about what
gosh.
Tommy and them did and how they came through and saved Angel Grove again with their damn Megazord.
You know me, I never lax on mentioning Power Rangers. Even though it's not quite animation. It's never
Nice.
quite animation, but Fox Kids dominated
They
the
did.
90s with Nickelodeon, to be honest, okay? Straight up. But Cartoon Network came across in a big way. I think we're going to get that in our top 5, but never forget the legacy. You know? We have the classic cartoons, all the stuff from the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, led to the 80s. They got into toys in the 90s. They kind of got back more into story. Even though there were like X-Men and Spider-Man, all the superhero stuff.
Yeah.
They had toys, right? But like Rugrats, Doug, all the Nickelodeon stuff didn't have a lot of toys. They were getting back more into telling lessons to children.
Sure.
And that's what animation does.